for themselves, but can they really make the medical decisions for themselves if they've been raised and brainwashed and indoctrinated in this particular belief system?
Well, very interesting issues, Concordance. Where would you draw the line? Would you blame the church
I
for
don't
the
think it's easy.
indoctrination?
I don't. There's no black and white.
I fully accept there isn't, but I'm just wondering where you would draw the line personally. I'm not saying that your demarcation would be correct. I'm just curious as to where would you draw that line?
There's a reasonable case for anything which might be considered life-threatening. Any self-limiting disease, it's very hard to prosecute the parents for doing, again, what they think is right. But for any kind of life-threatening disease, and that's a pretty big category, I think that we need to educate parents in the schools, future parents in the schools, that regardless of their beliefs, when someone's life is on the line, that they have a legal obligation, that children's health care is a legal duty which they must discharge as parents. That is an expectation of our society, that if their child has any risk of death, they are obligated to seek some sort of medical care. Failure to do.
Then, on the flip side of that, if there's legal requirement of parents to make sure that the children have medical care, but if something contradicts the religious conscience, then the state can come in and take control of that situation. And I think there's a fine balance, because it can also be used by atheists to say, well, creationism is a form of abuse, etc. So I think the state getting involved in parental decisions concerning the religious conscience and medical issues is a very, very difficult topic and requires a lot of sensitivity from either side. But I don't think you can say there's a hard and fast rule either way, either for the state or the parents. There'll be some situations that's plainly obvious that, you know, the state needs to step in and override the religious conscience. But then there are some situations where the state might come in, try to override the religious conscience of the parents, but actually have overstepped the mark and have gone beyond the freedom of democracy and become tyrannical. So I think it's much more complex and nuanced than Concordance and the Magic Sandwich Show are exploring. Well, I suppose that they are admitting that there is a complexity there, but I would be just as concerned of the freedom of religion as well as the care of children. The both need to be kept in balance.